We launched a supplement on Amazon and made $1 million in 1 year with one product. And we did it only using Amazon PPC. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how we did it, peeling back the curtain and showing you our exact campaign structure so that you can replicate this launch success for yourself. I'm Chris Rawlings. I'm one of the top spenders of Amazon PPC ads on the platform with over $2.7 million in Amazon PPC monthly ad spend as of this recording. I'm a verified Amazon ads partner and I've launched over 2,500 products on Amazon.com. Now, we initiated this product launch 12 months ago, and besides a few months where we stocked out, we hit a new sales record each and every single month. Now we're doing about $150K a month with the product. We've done over $1 million total in revenue. And the campaign structure that we used was actually very simple. Not only that, but we did it with very high margins. This is a high margin product and we have a very profitable tacos. I think you're gonna be shocked when you see the campaign structure, but what I'm gonna do now is walk you through each and every one of the top 10 campaigns that caused this Amazon PPC product launch to be so successful. Later on in the video, I'm also gonna be giving you guys access to our internal resource that shows you each of these campaigns that we're about to walk through for this product launch and a step-by-step of how to set each one up. I'll tell you how to get that resource a little bit later on in the video. We call this kind of campaign scaling Chad scaling because it's very simple yet aggressive and pretty good looking too. Take a look at the top 10 campaigns that got us there. Now we're gonna walk through each and every one of these in order by the amount of sales they generated throughout the launch period of the last 12 months. But the interesting thing about this is a lot of them are pretty traditional. I've walked through some launches with you guys recently that were really non-traditional, that went way different ways. And I do that because I want to explain to you guys how launches can go dramatically differently. There's not one rigid campaign structure that you can always adhere to. It's rather about the process of running a PPC data loop, of trying different campaign types out and then taking the data from the performance of those campaigns and using it to optimize not only the campaigns, but also the product assets. So let's walk through these one by one. First one we've got here is a single keyword sponsored product campaign targeting this one high volume keyword. And it's the one keyword that we really want to rank for the most. It's a super high volume keyword, like 100,000 searches a month. Now the campaign has a 65% ACoS. Now this is a consumable product. Some of you guys who are non-consumable, you might be thinking that these ACoS that we're looking at for these top campaigns are high. They're not high, trust me. And I'm gonna show you guys what the tacos is. So you're gonna know that despite ACoS that might look like it's on the higher side on average on the Amazon marketplace, this is actually very healthy for a high volume consumables product. And the point of this is to drive organic sales that drive ranking for high volume keywords so that our tacos goes down even if our ACoS stays flat. Just as a reminder, ACoS is your average cost of sale, meaning how much ad spend did you spend that month to get how much ad revenue you got that month. Whereas tacos is total average cost of sale. How much ad spend did I spend that month as a percentage of my total revenue that month? That's the number we really care about. And if you look at the tacos for this product, you can see it's really healthy. This most recent calendar month, we sold 164,000 in revenue of the product with a tacos of 16.6%, which is really good for this product. This is a high margin product. So this product is super profitable and growing month over month. This is yet another piece of evidence that ACoS is not the defining metric and that it varies dramatically space to space. A high ACoS campaign is not necessarily a bad performing campaign if it's driving ranking organically very strongly. Okay, so let's peek inside this campaign. Now let's take a look at the bid adjustment so we can see the different placements. When you're running a single keyword campaign in sponsored products for the purpose of organically ranking for a keyword with really high search volume, the management of that campaign, 90% of it really comes down to the bid adjustments. That's this section right here. The bid adjustments means how much am I going to allow Amazon to increase my bid to make it to certain placements. There's 3 different placements: top of search, rest of search, and product pages. There's now actually a 4th one. It's business placements, which you can see up here. And now how do you know which placement to up your bid adjuster for, right? So in this case, you can see we have 128% bid adjuster for top of search. Now the reason we do that is because we are pushing this ranking campaign very hard. And top of search placements have the greatest impact on ranking. That doesn't mean that other placements don't have an impact on ranking. In fact, they do. And I'm going to get to that in a second. But the top of search placement has the most powerful impact on ranking. And the reason for that is because it gets the highest click-through rate by far and the highest conversion rate by far. Take a look at this top of search click-through rate. For these top of search placements, we're getting a 9% click-through rate, whereas rest of search, we're getting a 1.3% click-through rate. Product pages, we get a 0.2% click-through rate. It's just a night and day difference. Same with the conversion rate. The conversion rate from clicks to orders is much higher on the top of search and much lower on the rest of search and product pages. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to perform the best. In our case, we actually are getting a pretty equivalent ACoS between the top of search and rest of search. The product page is actually producing a higher ACoS in our case, but a lot of times the top of search, you just can't compete and the ACoS is going to be ridiculous even if you're getting a higher click-through rate and conversion rate. In those cases, you're going to want to ease off the bid adjuster for the top of search and just ramp the bid adjuster for whatever placement is performing best. If you want to aggressively target organic ranking for that keyword in the campaign, you're going to want to focus more on top of search. But if you can't hack it, remember, you can still drive ranking just by feeding the placement type that is working best and ramping the bid adjuster for that particular placement. Okay, to see how this campaign should be set up, let's go back to that campaign setup cheat sheet that I mentioned earlier in the video, and let's take a look inside Launch tab for the single keyword ranking campaign. We're gonna expand that and take a look at how this should be set up. So this is single keyword, exact match type. The keyword should be a high relevant keyword with a very high search volume. It's going straight to the product detail page, and you can see how to set the bid, placement settings, the naming convention, et cetera, et cetera. And here, I'm gonna give you guys a chance to get this resource yourself, but let's watch the actual setup of this particular campaign. So you're gonna go to sponsored products, name the ad group, select the product, select manual targeting, select keyword targeting, click enter list, input your bid, select only exact, deselect phrase and broad, then select your keyword either from your keyword research or from the keywords that you found in your search term reports were performing best. This should be basically your most important keyword. You're not going to do any negative targeting. You can use fixed bids or down only, depending on how aggressive you want to be. Set your daily budget and launch your campaign. Now that campaign performed at a 65% ACoS and drove more sales than any other single campaign in our top 10 campaigns. And you'll notice that that 65% ACoS is higher than the ACoS of the next two top performing campaigns in terms of sales, but it drove the most ranking for the most important keyword with 175,000 searches a month. So it's not about the ACoS, it's about the organic ranking result that we got from it, which is a huge part of our growth over the past 12 months with the product. Now let's take a look inside. So let's first click the ad group so we can actually see what we were targeting here. I'm gonna go to targeting. And now you can see this is a whole bunch of product targets. So all of these targets are competitors' products, and this is very common. A lot of times you'll see a distribution like this where you see a lot of our spend, in fact, a majority of it went to the top one, and the rest of our spend was basically like it trailed off as we went down the different other product targets. And this is pretty common. A lot of times you're gonna have one product target that's just performing really well and is super high volume, and that gets a lot of the clicks and a lot of the sales. Now let's take a look at the bid adjustments here. And remember, this is something people get confused a lot. Just because I'm targeting a product doesn't mean I'm only gonna show up on that product page. Targeting a product or targeting a search term doesn't matter. Amazon can show you on product pages or in search, whether you're targeting a search term or products. So in this case, interestingly, from an ACoS perspective, you can see we were getting the best results from top of search, even though we're product targeting. So we cranked that bid adjuster a little bit. But of course, this is a product targeting campaign, and we still are getting a majority of the sales from the actual product pages for the products that we're targeting. Now back in our resource, we'll see under sponsored products, if we go down to performance, we will see product targeting campaigns. Now we split it into 4 different categories. There's targeting products that are lower rated or higher priced, or both, using the refine method. Targeting high volume ASINs, that's what this campaign that we just walked through was doing. Targeting ASINs with missing features that your product has, or targeting your own product, the very same product that you're advertising. This is more of a ninja tactic. I'm gonna get into this in a second, a little bit later in the video. So since we did this one, let's expand this and look through how to set up this type of campaign. Okay, so you're gonna go to sponsored products, name the ad group, select the product that you wanna advertise, click manual targeting, then product targeting, then individual products, then click enter list, input your bid, select exact, and by the way, I have a whole video on bidding. If you want to learn that, just go to my channel and check it out. Then input your product targets. Now, how do you find these product targets? In this case, it's literally just going to be the highest volume selling products. So it's literally probably going to be the top 10 ranking products for your major keyword. Name your campaign, input your daily budget, and boom, you're ready to go. So that was our second best performing campaign. Now let's go to our third best performing, and this is an auto campaign. In this case, normally our best practice is to split auto campaign types out into their own separate campaigns. In this case, we had 4 different auto types, match types, in one campaign. And sometimes that works just as good. So let's crack open this campaign and take a look. So you can see here we had a different ad group for each auto targeting match type. There's close match, complements, loose match, and substitutes. Now what you don't want to do is just have them all in the same ad group, all in the same campaign. At least split them out into different ad groups, and sometimes it makes sense to split them out into different campaigns as well. You can see we turned substitutes off only because it wasn't performing quite as well as the other auto match types. Interesting case here is that loose match was actually performing the best from a ROAS and ACoS perspective, which isn't usually common. Typically, your close match and substitutes are going to be your best performing auto match types generally, but this proves that you never really know until you actually test. Another interesting thing here is that this is actually one of our healthiest ACoS of our top 10 campaigns, even though it's an auto campaign. Now that might be surprising to a lot of you guys who aren't advertising in super high volumes, because this really used to not be the case on Amazon. Auto campaigns used to be a great way to just lose your budget and flush your budget down the toilet. Nowadays, that's not true at all. Some of our best performing campaigns now are just tightly controlled auto campaigns. And that is because Amazon's algorithm wants leeway in 2025 and beyond. It wants to have the flexibility to show your ad when and where it wants to. Every other ad platform has gone through this same exact transition. Meta went through it, Google went through it, YouTube went through it, where at first it was all about the specific hyper targeting audiences, targeting keywords. And then it was actually more about setting up a diversity of campaigns and having the right conversion event and metrics tracking to allow the algorithm to do its work. And that's why you see with a lot of top performing accounts now, some of the best campaigns aren't these exact campaigns with exact targeting types. They're the targeting types that allow Amazon to have a little bit more leeway. Now, obviously, this varies pretty dramatically account to account. So how do you know what types of campaigns to put in place? Well, that's why I'm giving you guys this resource during this video. And also that's why you should just be testing different targeting types, testing different match types, and testing different targets and bid adjustments, testing everything you possibly can. And then you just feed more of what works. All right, so let's take close match for example in auto targeting. So again, this is a sponsored product campaign. You select auto targeting so you can see what to put into every field. Here, let's walk through the actual setup of the campaign itself. So you're going to select sponsored products, name your ad group, select the product that you want to advertise, then select auto targeting and select set bids by targeting group and select one group, either one group per ad group or one group per campaign. This keeps it nice and clean so you know which automatic targeting type is working best. Then you're going to input your negative keywords. Now there's 2 ways to do this. You can either just put in negative keywords that you know are irrelevant from your keyword research and from your search term reports, or you can put in all the keywords that you're targeting in other campaigns to just keep it clean and segregated. There are pros and cons to doing it each way. It's really just based on what you're comfortable with. Phrase negations are really important because those are words that you never want to show up in the keywords. These might have shown up in your keyword research, or they might continually show up in your sponsored search term reports, and you know that they're not relevant, you know they don't convert. Those are the ones that you definitely want to include. After you put in your negated keywords, you're going to select dynamic bids down only, start without any bid adjusters, name the campaign, set your daily budget. I have a whole video on daily budgets if you want to learn how to budget, then launch it. Now, managing this type of campaign really comes down to being really good at negations. So you have to constantly be going in there and seeing what keywords Amazon is advertising you for, and make sure that any irrelevant keywords, like if my product is made of wood and it's advertising me for titanium as one of the material words in the keywords, I know that those people aren't going to buy. So I want to negate that keyword because I know that it's totally irrelevant to my product, right? That's the game of optimizing these particular types of campaigns. Okay, the 4th best performing campaign. This is the exact same setup as the 1st best performing campaign. It's a single keyword, exact match, sponsored products campaign. You can see it has a pretty high ACoS, but again, this is not about driving lean sales. The purpose of this type of campaign is to drive sales for a particular keyword so that you can get better organic ranking for that keyword. So the performance of this campaign is really more about driving down tacos and driving up organic sales than it is the particular ACoS that that campaign gets. Now moving on to the 5th best performing campaign. This is a self-targeted product placement sponsored product ad, but expanded style. So what does this mean? Let's take a look at the campaign first, and then I'll show you how to set it up and what it means. So let's click into the campaign. We're gonna click the ad group itself, then go to targeting, and you're gonna see what I mean here. So we're only targeting one product, and it's the very same product that we are advertising, but with the expanded option clicked instead of the exact option clicked. And I'm gonna show you exactly what I mean when I walk through the setup of this particular type of campaign. So what does this do? It's basically telling Amazon, target the very same product that I'm advertising or products like this. And what Amazon does, because it can't actually run the ad on that product's very same detail page, that's like Inception, what it does is if you click expanded, it finds other products like that product to put your ad on. That's what expanded product targeting is. It's basically giving Amazon more leeway, like we were saying before, to find other product targets that are similar to the target that you input. So the base way to do this, the foundational way to do this first, is input your own very same ASIN that you're advertising and then click expanded. And that will show Amazon that you want to find other products very similar to yours, as similar to yours as possible. Now, when we click search terms, you can see what's actually happening here. Even though all of the targets are the same because we're only targeting one product and that's our own very same product, all of the actual ASINs that we're being advertised on are totally different competitors' products. And a lot of them are getting very few clicks, but some of them actually get significant sales. You can see this has a sales distribution that's pretty wide. It's not, in this case, it's not that there's one getting a vast majority of the sales. It's distributed amongst a lot of these targets. So the only way to do this is allow Amazon to find these targets for you. You really couldn't mine all of these little targets. Using a self-targeted, expanded product targeting campaign is a magic tool for getting these targets that you wouldn't have otherwise even known were good product targets for you. Now let's go back to our resource and figure out how to create one of these particular types of campaigns. So I'm gonna go down here to self-targeted. We call it an STPP campaign, a self-targeted product placement campaign. And let's walk through it actually being set up. So you're gonna click sponsored products, name the ad group, select the product that you want to advertise, click manual targeting, then product targeting, then individual products, then input your bid, select expanded, deselect exact, put in the very same ASIN that you're advertising, select dynamic bids up and down because this gives Amazon the leeway to find the appropriate bid. Later on, you could change to down only if you want. Name the campaign, input your daily budget, and launch the campaign. Okay, on to the 6th best performing campaign, which is yet again another single keyword exact match campaign for a keyword we want to rank for. It isn't always the case that you have this many really aggressive single keyword exact match campaigns, but in this case, organic ranking for these keywords was everything for this product. It's not always like that. A lot of times you're going to just have a higher portion of your sales coming from ads long term. In this case, it was really all about getting the organic ranking, and we're trying to grow very aggressively. So in fact, the 6th, 7th, and 8th top performing campaigns were all single keyword exact match campaigns for particular keywords that we wanted to have a high degree of control over. Now let's look at this 9th best performing campaign. Now this campaign is interesting. This is a campaign type that we're using more and more, and that is category targeting. So this is a category targeting sponsored products campaign, targeting the same category that we're in, but with refinements. So you can see the category that we're targeting is our same category, not a different category, but we refined it so that we're only targeting people with a higher price than us. Now let's go back to our resource and check out how to create a category targeting campaign. So we're gonna click sponsored products, name the ad group, we'll select the product that we're advertising, we're gonna select manual targeting, product targeting, and then we're gonna select categories instead of individual products. And here you can search for your category, or you can use one of Amazon's suggested categories. Usually they're gonna select the category that you're already in. But what you're gonna do once you select your category is instead of clicking add, click refine. And then here you can select people who are only below your star rating or only above your current price or both. That allows you to target only products in the category that are basically worse than you in every way. Now I'll say sometimes refining the category works. Sometimes it actually works better to not refine it at all we found, and a lot of times this refining restricts you too much. So you may want to do one or the other, but not both at the same time. You can see it reduces the total amount of targets pretty dramatically, but that's how you do it. Add the category, select your bid, use dynamic bids down only, skip the bid adjusters for now, name the campaign, input your daily budget, and then launch the campaign. Okay, and the 10th best performing campaign by sales in this $1 million product launch happens to be a broad match sponsored product keyword targeted campaign. And you could see this campaign, even though it brought in not nearly as much sales as the top performing campaign by sales, it actually has the best ACoS out of all of the top 10 campaigns, which again speaks to my point before about Amazon liking the targeting types that give them more leeway. So let's take a look at this campaign. So what we basically did here, you can see we only have 4 targets here. And these are basically the same targets that we're targeting with single keyword exact match campaigns, but we selected broad match type instead of exact so that we could give Amazon the leeway to find other even better performing keywords that are related or similar to these keywords and search terms for us. And obviously it did a good job because this campaign is actually performing better as measured by ACoS than the single keyword exact match campaigns that we have going. The reason we still want to drive a lot of traffic to those single keyword campaigns is because we know they're driving the organic ranking that we really want to get organic sales. Okay, back to our resource. Let's check it out here under sponsored products ranking. You can see multi-keyword ranking campaign broad match. So let's open that up and you can see exactly what to put in to create a campaign like this. But let's walk through the actual setup step by step. So we're going to select sponsored products, name the ad group, select the product that we want to advertise, click manual targeting, then click keyword targeting, then enter list, input your bid, deselect phrase and exact and just leave broad selected, and then input your keywords. Now, how do you select these keywords? In this case, we're selecting the keywords that are the highest relevance, highest volume. So these are really like our money keywords, our alpha keywords. Phrase negations are important in broad match campaigns, just like in auto campaigns, because Amazon has so much leeway. You really want to put in anything that you know Amazon shouldn't be advertising you for, any particular words that you don't want to show up at all. That's the difference between phrase negate and exact negate. Then you're going to select your bidding strategy, which you can either use fixed or down only, depending on how aggressive you want to be for ranking campaigns, input your daily budget, and then launch your campaign. And those are the top 10 campaigns that got us to $1 million within 12 months on one single product on Amazon. If you want to get that resource that I mentioned, just click the link in the description of this video and you can download it there. Now, if you want to explore partnering with me and my company, Sophie Society, to take over your PPC and grow your brand profitably, just click the link in the description of this video and you can apply there on my website. Not everybody's going to be applicable, but you can find out with just a 30-second little application down there if you are. And if you want to see the breakdown of another Amazon product launch, check out this video right here where I walk through on my channel a different type of product launch and all of the campaigns that got us to a profitable launch within just 30 days. So check that out. Good luck on your launch. See you over there.